Good morning. Hope everyone had a wonderful weekend. This is your weekly shout out of what's going on in the finance and IT department and a brief update of what's going on with projects and what's happening. Hopefully everyone stayed dry. It was great to see the rain come in this weekend. It looks like we probably got in excess of 4 inches of rain, surely needed. Looks like we're going to get some more storms later this week, maybe Friday through the weekend. So maybe El Nino is going to turn out to be not El Nada, which is good for us. It's kind of timely because this afternoon, the Development Overview Committee is meeting with the utilities team to talk about drought and how we're prepared to address drought issues. There's been quite a call for requests for moratorium on development, and we need to look at the messaging and information we're presenting to the public, make sure they have the sense of how the city is meeting its obligations to balance out both the need for existing customers and our need for housing and growth and economic development, something that everyone is certainly struggling with, and SLO is no different. We just happen to be in a unique position that we do have a pretty good water supply, and we have a responsive community that's done a great job in terms of water conservation. Looking forward to what's going on the City Council agenda. We've got a couple items scheduled for the 15th. We've got the 5-year strategic plan from Police Department, the LEDGE platform, and then we got the democracy voucher proposal, and then the Nacimiento full allocation. This item is really for the city to take advantage of its contractual rights under the Nacimiento agreement to essentially take their full allocation of contractual water and put it into our secondary water supply. What that means is it won't be available necessarily for development unless further environmental review is done, but really it's meant to hedge against really climate change and the assumptions that we've put into our urban water plan that really has to do with changing the amount of evaporation and water usage and rainfall, and this additional water is really meant to bolster that secondary water supply for drought purposes. Moving forward to April 5th, we've got a couple items. We've got an appeal of a pretty significant code enforcement case over on Frederick Street, something that I had to address when I was over in Community Development Department. And then we've got a request to initiate a specific plan on Madonna, over on the Madonna property on LOVR. And then we got a presentation of the update to the fire master plan and how the city is going to propose to address fire services in the southern part of the city. Then moving out to the 19th of April, we've got a couple items. I'll be presenting the GFOA recommendations, which should come through this week. They were promised last week, but the consultant didn't deliver, and so I've got a couple other days set aside this week to go pour through the report, and I'll certainly get it out to folks before it goes to the City Council. We've got acceptance of public art policy, KEG registration, the National Bloom Awards program, and then we've got the POA Memorandum of Agreement. We have a tentative agreement that will be placed on the calendar to bring to the City Council. And then I'll bring us just through the meeting in May. On May 3rd, we've got a couple items. One is a testing a tentative track map on West Creek. And then we've got SLOCOG, who will be making a presentation about the potential for a self-help sales tax. A couple shout-outs from last week. You did hear from Tracy about nominations for Hero of the Month, and we had a few, which was Dave and the GIS team for the emergency management app that was presented to City Council. And I want to really say how thoroughly impressed both the council, myself, and the whole department head team was with that app. It is such an amazing tool and really showcases the really innovative kind of spirit and kind of practical tools, and how really advanced our team is in terms of providing GIS services to this community. Rhonda got a shout out for and so what for helping with the business license renewal. Rhonda continues to show her focus and dedication to customer service, always smiling and always a warm delight to see as you come into the office. We also got another shout out for David Dinsmore for helping setting up new workstations over at 919. And we were Eric Geddes is for his work on the fire data system, and he's also got a shout out on Slow What for getting Simon set up on voicemail on VM, so he could run Excel without slowing down his computer. A lot of other stuff going on in IT. We helped out with the GIS tools I mentioned. We presented a webinar on wildland urban interface. And then we are moving forward with the network administrator position, which closed, and interviews are scheduled this week. A little other update this week is on Wednesday is Lori's last day. If you have a moment, stop by and say hi. Lynn is going to be filling in for her until we find a replacement, and we hope to do that real soon. The EOP is open, and I understand we've got a lot of great applications already with people who have payroll experiences with employers of our size. I'll be doing the interviews today and tomorrow of our narrowed down list of candidates for the Admin 3 position, which is an important position for our department. Huge appreciation to Barb Bearbar, who's done a great job stepping in to provide support not only to me and the rest, but all the other managers. And she knows the city, and she's committed to help onboard the new person when they get in the office, as well as Michelle, who's agreed to come back and kind of lead them through the ropes. The long-term plan is to continue to keep Lisa on board. She's done an amazing job keeping up with bank recs, and we'll be working on fixed assets. And once we have our payroll clerk in place and everything stabilized, we have really, Tracy's committed to help out Xena with the 2016-2017 budget supplement. Instructions went out from Xena last week to all the analysts and fiscal officers describing the process for what we'll be using to prepare the budget for 16-17. Another piece of information I wanted to share is on Friday I had a great opportunity to spend some quality time with my door closed and really started to dig into our SOPC request for 2016-2017. Spent some time on that all day. I've circulated it around to Christine and Monica and Katie. They're taking a look at it. The hope is really to have a SOPC that gets us to where we need to go as outlined by GFOA, with a combination of short-term staff and regular staff, and then a significant investment in replacing our financial system. Xena is currently working on speccing out our need for a budget system that'll help us for the 2017-2019 financial plan, and then from there the hope is that then we'll fully transition to a full ERP system. I want to thank everyone who's done just an amazing job on giving ideas and thoughts into our work with GFOA. As many people know, Lynn has stepped forward and agreed to do a few service level agreements. One of the first key recommendations that GFOA made was to make sure we have ample staffing on board now until when we get to a full ERP system. And so I'll be walking everyone through what our request is as soon as I circulate the SOPC around and get some more thoughts and comments from critical stakeholders in the city. Again, appreciate all of the wonderful work keeping the city running. I've really become to appreciate just how important finance and IT are to this organization in terms of the support that we provide. Last, I just want to close with everyone that went through the DISC training. I was so heartened to come back to the office from the DISC training and see a lot of the finance folks really engaged in a thoughtful discussion about their preferences and presentiments about what works for them, what people need to know about them in terms of how they communicate and how they interact with others. I encourage you to meet with your Intact teams, whether it's GIS, whether it's IT, whether it's the administrative support team. All of you can learn more about each other and learn more about how you can be an effective part of a team. And really this gets to what we've been talking about over the last few months, which is about how do we build trust, how do we build clarity, and one of those issues of trust is really knowing each other and knowing ourselves. So everyone have a great week. Looking forward to getting a few things done. And stop by, say hi, let me know how things are going with you and your family or anything else you want to talk about. All right, take care.